Welcome back, dear students. Now in this lecture we are going to study the internal structure of dicot and monocot leaf. So this is the last point from our botany paper second morphology and anatomy syllabus. We are dealing with the credit second anatomy. This is the last point from our syllabus, internal structure of dicot and monocot leaf. So if you see the TS of dicot leaf, it shows dorsiventral or bifacial structure. Dorsiventral or bifacial. Bi means two, so it having a two faces. So as you know, though, the leaf which is having two surfaces, upper surface and lower surface, dorsal surface or ventral surface. So the internal structure is differentiated into epidermis on upper, that is the dorsal, and lower ventral surface, and in the center mesophyll and vascular tissue are present. So the TS of the dicot leaf, it shows dorsiventral or bifacial structure because the leaf has two surfaces, upper and lower surface, because of which the internal structure of the leaf is differentiated into epidermis on upper or dorsal and lower or ventral surface, and in the center mesophyll and vascular tissues are present. So the first one region, it is the epidermis. So here in this diagram we can see this is the upper epidermis, this one is the lower epidermis. We also say it is the dorsal epidermis, this is the ventral epidermis, and in between this the center of the internal structure of the leaf consists of mesophyll and vascular tissue. So this is the mesophyll tissue, which is again divided into the palisade tissue and spongy tissue, and again the vascular bundles are present. So the outermost layer, it is the epidermis. So the leaf is covered on both surfaces by a single layered epidermis. Here we can see on its lower surface and upper surface the epidermis has been present. So the leaf is covered on both surfaces by a single layered epidermis. The cuticle is present on both sides of the epidermis. So above the epidermis there is a presence of a layer of cuticle. So the cuticle is present on both surfaces, here on upper and lower also. Stomata are observed on both the surfaces. Here also we can see the stomata on upper and lower surface, but they are numerous on the lower surface. So if we count the number of stomata, they are more in number on the lower surface of the leaf or lower epidermis. The guard cells consist of chloroplasts which help in closing and opening of stomata. So if you see the mechanism of opening and the closing of stomata, the guard cell plays an important role during the opening and the closing of the stomata. So the turgidity and the flaccidity of the guard cells decides the opening and the closing of the stomata. So this is all about the epidermis. So epidermis is present on both the surfaces. Stomata are also present on the both surface of the epidermis, but they are more in number on the lower surface. The leaf, it is dorsiventral or bifacial structure. It possesses two epidermis, upper and lower epidermis, and in between this the central portion has been composed of the mesophyll cells. So these all are the mesophyll cells. So these mesophyll cells has been divided into palisade tissue and spongy tissue. Okay, so the compactly arranged tissue, it is the palisade tissue, while the loosely arranged tissue, which is a spongy tissue, and in between this the vascular bundles are present. Next, if the stomata are present on the lower epidermis, then the leaf is said to be hypostomatic. Hypo, below. So if the stomata are present only on lower epidermis, the leaf is said to be hypostomatic, whereas when stomata are present on upper epidermis, the leaf is known as epistomatic. Epi, above. So if the stomata are present on upper epidermis, the leaf is known as epistomatic. Unicellular or multicellular trichomes are present. Epidermis is meant to check excessive transpiration due to the cuticle. Stomata are helpful for exchange of gases between the plant and the atmosphere. The transpiration also takes place through the stomatal pores, which help in the maintaining the temperature of the plant body. Epidermis also prevent the entrance of pathogens into the interior of the leaf. Another most important function of the epidermis is the protection of soft internal tissues of the leaf from mechanical injury. So we are discussing here the transpiration to maintain the temperature of the plant body because leaves are involved in the process of photosynthesis. and excessive water loss is mainly takes place through the stomata which are present on the leaf. So the leaf is the main transpiring organ of the plant through which a large amount of water in the form of vapor has been lost. So to avoid water loss, the cuticle has been present above the epidermis. Similarly, the stomata which are required, they are must for exchange of gases between the plant and the atmosphere during the process of photosynthesis and respiration. Similarly, transpiration also takes place through the stomata. So the transpiration is required for maintaining the temperature of the plant body. Epidermis also prevent the entrance of the pathogen into the interior of the leaf. And another important function of the epidermis is the protection of the soft internal tissues of the leaf from mechanical injury. Then the mesophyll cells. So the central portion of the leaf, which mainly consists of the mesophyll cell, these are chlorophyllous tissue that lies between the upper and lower epidermis. So this whole portion in between upper and lower epidermis, it is the mesophyll tissue. And there are two types of mesophyll tissue: palisade tissue. So this is the palisade tissue, and this one is the spongy tissue. Palisade tissue, it is a palisade parenchyma. Spongy tissue, it is a spongy parenchyma. So both the palisade and the spongy tissue, they are made up of the parenchyma cells. Here in palisade region, in palisade tissue region, the cells are, parenchyma cells are compactly arranged. They are chlorophyllous, they consist of the chloroplast. So leaf is the required for photosynthesis, or it is the main function is photosynthesis. So one by one we are going to study the different types of mesophyll tissue. The palisade tissue are usually elongated, compactly arranged in single or more columnar layers. So here in this diagram we can see this is the palisade tissue which has been compactly arranged in a single or more. This is the single columnar layers. These are usually arranged below the upper epidermis, but sometimes it may be arranged below the lower epidermis. For example, eucalyptus, where both the surface of the leaf are equally illuminated by the sunlight. So both the surfaces of the leaf has been illuminated by the sunlight. So because of which these palisade tissues are present below upper epidermis as well as below the lower epidermis in case of eucalyptus, where both the surfaces of the leaf has been subjected to the illumination. So because of which it's both the surfaces possesses the palisade tissue. But generally these are usually arranged below the upper epidermis only. The leaves which receives more sunlight develops more compact palisade parenchyma in comparison to the leaves which develops in shady places. So they are useful in the photosynthesis. So this palisade tissue region is mainly required for the photosynthesis. So those plants which are exposed to the sunlight develop more compact palisade parenchyma in comparison to those plants which are grown in the shady places. So to receive more sunlight, more palisade tissue has been developed in the leaves. So they are useful in the photosynthesis. A region below the lower epidermis is occupied by the spongy parenchyma. So this spongy parenchyma has been present below the lower epidermis. Usually they are composed of loosely arranged, irregular, thin-walled chlorophyllous cells. So this region, it is the spongy tissue region. These cells are loosely arranged below the lower epidermis. These cells are irregular, thin-walled, where large intercellular spaces are present. Due to the presence of air spaces, they are helpful in the exchange of gases between the cells and the atmosphere. So there is a respiratory cavity that we seen in the epidermal tissue system. This respiratory cavity is meant for exchange of gases between the cell and outer atmosphere. They are photosynthetic in function, and they are also concerned with the storage of food material. So this is the food storage region of the leaf, where this palisade tissue is mainly concerned with the process of photosynthesis, while the spongy tissue also perform the process of photosynthesis, and it is also concerned with the storage of the food material. Okay. Then the vascular bundles. So these are the vascular tissues which constitute the conducting tissue system in the midrib of the lip. So water and mineral conduction has been takes place through this vascular tissue, that is the xylem. The xylem always lies towards the upper surface and phloem towards the lower surface. So here we can see this is the xylem, it lies towards the upper surface, and here the phloem is present towards the lower surface. Xylem conducts the water and raw material and also gives the mechanical support to the lip, while the phloem serves for the translocation of the prepared food material in the leaves from the mesophyll of the leaf. So here the mesophyll tissue, they are both palisade and spongy tissue, is responsible for the process of photosynthesis by which the organic food material is synthesized in the leaf. So for the preparation of food material, for the synthesis of the food material, the water is one of the raw material that has been provided by the xylem tissue, while after photosynthesis the food material is synthesized that has been translocated from mesophyll tissue of the leaf to the other parts of the plant. So this function is performed by the phloem. Xylem always lies towards the upper surface, while phloem is towards the lower surface. The vascular bundle of leaf is surrounded by a parenchymatous bundle sheath. So here each vascular bundle is covered by a parenchymatous sheath. It is the vascular bundle, the sheath is present around the vascular bundle, so it is called as bundle sheath, which is parenchymatous. Here in this diagram we can see the two vascular bundles, and each vascular bundle is covered individually by a parenchymatous bundle sheath. It has a direct contact with the surrounding cells of the vascular bundle. In the midrib, below and above the vascular bundle, mechanical tissue like cholenchyma, sclerenchyma or turgid parenchyma are present. It helps in giving mechanical strength to the leaves. Generally this cholenchyma, it is present at the margin of the leaves. So the mechanical tissues that has been present below and above, here these are the vascular bundle, below and above the mechanical tissue is present like cholenchyma, sclerenchyma, the turgid parenchyma, that is also present in the leaf, so that gives a mechanical strength to the leaf. Okay, so this is all about the internal structure of the dicot leaf. Now we are going for internal structure of the monocot leaf. In transverse section, TS of monocot leaf shows isobilateral monofacial structure, while in case of dicot leaf it is a di or bifacial structure. Here it having a two surfaces. Here we can see a isobilateral or monofacial structure. Monocot leaves are mostly erect and more or less both the surfaces usually receive direct and equal amount of sunlight. So here the palisade tissue that has been present below, lower as well as upper epidermis. So it is a monofacial structure, while in case of dicot this mesophyll has been divided into two types of tissue, that is the palisade and spongy tissue. The palisade, it is restricted to the below the upper epidermis, while spongy, which is present below the lower epidermis. So it having a bifacial structure. In contrast to this, monocot leaf shows isobilateral or monofacial structure. Monocot leaves, because monocot leaves are mostly erect, more or less both the surfaces usually receive direct and equal amount of sunlight. It is differentiated into epidermis, mesophyll and vascular bundles. So the first one layer, it is the epidermis. It is outermost protective layer found on both upper and lower surface of the leaf. The epidermal layers are uniserrate, these are single layered. Here we can see the epidermal layers. These are the bulliform cells. Bulliform cells or motor cells that we also seen in the epidermal tissue system. Epidermal layers are uniserrate, means they are single layer. It is protective in function. Epidermal cells are more or less oval and compactly arranged. The outer wall of the epidermal cell is cuticularized, means the cuticle is present. The upper epidermis consists of bulliform cell. These are the bulliform cells, motor cells. They are hygroscopic, causing rolling of lip lamina. Stomata are present on both surfaces of the lip, so they are present, they are found on both the epidermal cells, upper as well as lower. Here upper and lower surface, the stomata has been present. So this is about the epidermis. Next to the epidermis is the mesophyll tissue. A monocot leaf is isobilateral. Mesophyll is not differentiated into the palisade and spongy tissue. The spongy tissue are isodiametric chlorophyllous cells. Large intercellular spaces are present among the cells. Mesophyll perform the function of gaseous exchange. So here this mesophyll is not differentiated into the palisade and spongy tissue. So here we can found the all spongy tissue which are isodiametric, chlorophyllous, compactly arranged. In some region, the large intercellular species are also seen. Mesophyll perform the function of gases exchange and photosynthesis. Now the vascular bundles are closed. Each vascular bundle is surrounded by parenchymatous bundle sheath. Here we can see the parenchymatous bundle sheath which surround the vascular bundle. Here also, this is the vascular bundle which possesses the phloem and xylem. The xylem lies towards the upper epidermis, similar in the dicot leaf also, while the phloem lies towards the lower epidermis. Here is the phloem, there is a xylem. The sclerenchyma cells are found to be scattered in patches on both ends of the vascular bundles. So here we can see the sclerenchyma cell. Here is the sclerenchyma cell, here is the sclerenchyma cell, which are occurring patches on both the ends of the vascular bundles. They provide mechanical support to the lip lamina. It conducts the food material, water and organic substances, for example maize leaf. So this is all about the vascular bundle which are made up of xylem and phloem. These vascular bundles are closed. Cambium is absent. Each vascular bundle is surrounded by the parenchymatous bundle sheath or a covering parenchymatous bundle sheath. Xylem lies towards the upper epidermis, phloem lies towards the lower epidermis. The sclerenchyma cells are found in patches on both the ends of the larger vascular bundles. They provide the mechanical support to the lip lamina. It conducts the food material. The mesophyll is not divided into palisade and spongy tissue. It is only composed of spongy tissue which are isodiametric, chlorophyllous. Large intercellular species are present. Mesophyll cells perform the function of gases exchange and photosynthesis. Stomata are present on both the surfaces, upper and lower surface. So this is all about the internal structure of monocot leaf. So if you see the differences between the internal structure of dicot and monocot leaf, in case of dicot leaf, the leaf is bifacial, while monocot it is monofacial. Next difference, the mesophyll is divided into or differentiated into two types of tissue, that is the palisade tissue and spongy tissue. Palisade is restricted to the below the upper epidermis, while spongy tissue is present below the lower epidermis. Palisade tissue is compactly arranged, while spongy tissue is loosely arranged, presence of intercellular spaces. The vascular bundle in dicot, they consist of xylem and phloem. Xylem lies towards the upper epidermis, while phloem lies towards the lower epidermis. Same in monocot leaf also. Next difference, the stomata are present on upper and lower surface of the leaf or lower epidermis. Then in dicot, they are present on both the surfaces, but more on the lower surface of the leaf, that is on the lower epidermis. So this is all about the internal structure of dicot and monocot leaf. In monocot leaf, motor cells we are found, that is the buliform cells are present in the upper epidermal cells. Motor cells or buliform cells that are found in the upper epidermal cells. So this is about the internal structure of dicot and monocot leaf. So this is all for today. So by this lecture we finish our botany paper second syllabus, which is based on morphology and anatomy. Okay, best of luck, well study hard and face exam very clearly and confidently. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.